Let's start with a scene. Imagine ancient Rome, the Colosseum roaring, blood in the sand. Julius Caesar struts in, all swagger and steel. A man who didn't just play the game, he rewrote the rules. He stabbed backs, sometimes literally, charmed the masses, and seized power like it was his birthright. Fast forward to today. A sleek boardroom, a CEO with a shark's grin slashes jobs, rigs deals, and cashes out millions while the team players get pink slips. Different eras, same story. History's littered with these types, emperors, moguls, dictators, who climb highest by caring least. Why does this keep happening? Is it bad luck, a cosmic joke, or something baked into us? Here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not random, it's human nature, raw and unfiltered. Back when we were dodging saber-toothed cats, survival wasn't about being nice. It was about being first to the kill. Resources were scarce, competition was a death match, and the ones who hesitated, who waited for a fair shot, ended up as lunch. Evolution didn't reward kindness, it rewarded winners. Take a look around. Politics? A snake pit of promises and backroom deals. Honest candidates get drowned out by the loudest liars. Business? Cutthroat CEOs like Enron's Ken, like cooked books and cashed out while employees lost everything. Even in your own life, ever notice how the coworker who kisses up and cuts corners gets the raise while you're stuck holding the moral high ground? It's not fair, right? But here's the twist. Fairness isn't the point. Power is. And power doesn't care about your feelings. It goes to those who take it. But hold up, there's a catch. These ruthless champs, they often crash hard. Caesar got a knife party from his buddies. Enron imploded. That coworker might trip over their own ego eventually. So, why do they rise and why do they fall? To crack this, we need to dig deeper than history. We need philosophy. Enter Friedrich Nietzsche, the mustache-wearing madman who saw power as life's heartbeat. He's got a theory that'll flip your worldview upside down. Let's dive in. Imagine two warriors on a battlefield. Think gladiator vibes, dust kicking up, swords gleaming. One's a beast, strong, fearless, decisive. He charges in, takes what he wants, shapes the world to his will, no apologies. The other? He's pausing, looking around, waiting for a nod from the universe, hoping fairness will crown him king. Who wins? Who rules? Nietzsche says it's no contest, the first guy, hands down. Why? Because morality isn't some sacred truth dropped from the heavens. It's a weapon forged in power struggles. Nietzsche split it into two camps, master morality and slave morality. Master morality is the code of the lions, the conquerors, the ones who don't blink. It's all about strength, ambition, courage, values that scream, I define what's good by what makes me thrive. These are the Caesars, the trailblazers, the ones who laugh in the face of weakness and carve their names into history. They don't need your approval, they are the standard. Weakness? It's not a virtue to protect, it's a hurdle to crush. Then there's slave morality, the playbook of the underdog. It's not about dominating, it's about surviving. Picture the oppressed, the powerless, huddled together, whispering, strength is evil, humility is holy. They flip the script, suffering's noble, ambition's selfish, power's a sin. Nietzsche saw this as a genius move, a psychological judo flip to cope with a world ruled by the strong. But here's the sting. It doesn't stop the ruthless. It fuels them. By shaming power, slave morality hands it to those who don't give a damn about shame. The noble hesitate, clutching their virtues, while the masters march on. Sound familiar? It's everywhere. The politician who plays dirty wins the election, while the honest one stuck shaking hands at the county fair. The hedonist clown, think hedonist's hollow laughter, chases pleasure, cackling as they tumble into ruin, while the principled soul watches in quiet despair. Nietzsche's point? The game's rigged because we let it be. Slave morality keeps the good guys down, preaching patience while the ruthless snatch the crown. But wait, does this mean we should ditch morals and go full villain? Not so fast. Nietzsche wasn't cheering for the bad guys. He was dissecting them. The ruthless rise because they play to human nature's tune, but they're victories, often short-lived. History's a graveyard of tyrants who overreached. Think Napoleon, Hitler, or even that CEO who's now dodging lawsuits. Ruthlessness gets you to the top, but wisdom keeps you there. So, what's the move for the rest of us? Let's zoom into the psychology of power. Picture a jungle, untamed, brutal, no rules. A lion doesn't ask the gazelle's permission to eat. A storm doesn't apologize for flattening trees. Nature's not fair, it's a brawl, and the winners don't blink. Human society? Same deal, just with better outfits. Beneath our polite handshakes and Instagram filters, that primal fight still rages. And the ones who rise, they've got a secret sauce. Ruthlessness. Not always cruelty, sometimes it's just cold, clear focus. Psychologists have clocked this. Studies on success, think CEOs, politicians, even reality TV stars, show a pattern: high ambition, low fear, and, a dialed-down empathy switch. These folks don't freeze when the stakes spike. They don't lose sleep over who they step on. They just step. Julius Caesar didn't cry over his rivals. He crossed the Rubicon and took Rome. Steve Jobs didn't hug it out with competitors. He crushed them and built an empire. Hesitation's a luxury they can't afford. Now, before you scream, psychopath, not all power players are Hannibal Lecter. Some just have a knack for acting without the emotional baggage that trips up the rest of us. Ever try saying no to a toxic friend? It's hard. Guilt kicks in. The ruthless. They'd cut the cord and not look back. It's not evil, it's efficiency. Evolution loves it. In a dog-eat-dog world, the decisive eat first. But here's the flip side. That same trait can torch them. Ruthlessness without brains is a ticking bomb. Take Nero, fiddled while Rome burned, then got ousted. Or modern tycoons who bet big, win big, then crash when the house of cards folds. Power's a double-edged sword, sharp enough to carve a throne, sharp enough to slit your throat. So, if the ruthless keep winning, does that mean morality's a losing bet? Not quite. To see why, we've got to smash a big lie we've all been fed. Let's talk childhood. You're 5, wide-eyed, hearing bedtime stories where the good guy wins, the villain's toast, and everyone claps. Be nice, they say. Work hard, and the world will reward you. Fast forward to now. You're busting your hump, playing fair, and crickets. Meanwhile, the jerk who cuts corners is driving a Tesla. What gives? The world's not fair. It never was. That story? It's a lullaby to keep us quiet. Psychologists call it the just world fallacy. This cozy belief that life balances the scales. It's why we cheer when the movie hero triumphs. It feels right. But reality? It's a slap. The hardest workers aren't always rich. The honest don't always lead. The kindest hearts? Often shattered. This isn't a glitch, it's the system. Fairness is a human invention, a social glue to stop us from rioting, not a law of nature. Think about it. Power isn't handed out like gold stars for good behavior. It's fought for, grabbed, hoarded by those who get the game. The ruthless know this. They don't wait for justice. They make their own. That hedonist clown, laughing all the way to the bank or the gutter, while we're stuck hoping karma kicks in. Spoiler, it doesn't. The just world fallacy keeps us passive, dreaming of rewards that never come, while the players keep playing. So, do we ditch morality and join the dark side? Nah, that's too easy. The real trick is seeing the game for what it is without selling out. Nietzsche didn't just roast the system, he offered a way out. Enter the Übermensch, the overman, a figure who doesn't just survive the chaos, but transcends it. Let's meet this badass. Imagine standing at an abyss, behind you, a world of injustice, rules that choke, illusions that bind. Ahead, the unknown, scary, wild, free. Most freeze, shackled by fear or guilt. But a few leap. That's the Übermensch, Nietzsche's dream of someone who rises above, not by crushing others, but by crushing limits. It's not about brute force, it's about self-mastery. The Übermensch doesn't buy the fairness myth or bow to slave morality's guilt trip. They don't need a villain's cape either. They're not here to manipulate. Their power is internal, a will to create, to shape their own destiny, to laugh at the chaos and build something new. Think of them as the artist of their own life, ruthless with weakness, generous with vision. Unlike the tyrant who rules through fear, the Übermensch doesn't need applause. Their strength's enough. Contrast that with the ruthless clowns we've seen. They climb fast, deception, ambition, zero hesitation, but their thrones wobble. The Übermensch, they're playing a longer game. Caesar conquered Rome, but died bloody. Someone like Leonardo da Vinci, flawed, sure, pushed boundaries, created value, and echoes through time. The ruthless take, the Übermensch make. So, how do we pull this off? Step 1. Ditch the fairy tale. Life's not fair. Accept it, move on. Step 2. Master power, not as a club, but a chisel. Strategic empathy. Read the room, know your foes, lets you dodge traps without laying them. Step 3. Build, don't just break. Create something. A business, an idea, a legacy that stands taller than fleeting winds. That's the third path. Not victim, not villain, but victor on your terms. So, why do the worst win? Because they play the game we're too scared to see. Power's not evil. It's a force, like fire. The ruthless wield it to burn, the Übermensch to forge. This journey's shown us the stakes. Cling to illusions and lose, or face reality and rise. Your move, will you hesitate or will you leap? That's the challenge. Blend strength and soul, defy the rigged system, and laugh, not hollow, but bold at the chaos. Thanks for riding this wild ride with me. Let's keep questioning, growing, and owning our power together.